But it's okay because one-way airfare out of the country is as low as $35.
When things are wrong, I'll be by your side. Even when you want to cry.
Stop it. Welcome
to the Naked Apple.
Here we are, once again, to bring you joy. Mike and the Clapper.
In all its forms. You know, if you can get some business cards made out.
I can. I know someone that can do that for
Naked
us.
Apple LLC.
Naked Apple LLC. It's Mike and the Clapper. Sounds like a bad band name.
What's the Clapper? Well, see, we don't have a CEO or anything like that, so here we are. This is the content you pay for.
This is the content you pay for.
But we don't pay. Exactly.
Yep. That about sums it up.
How are you, Mike?
I am fantastic. How are you?
I am doing better than the Democrats of New Hampshire.
Oh, really?
Yes. Remember, if you're ever feeling down and out, just remember that in New Hampshire, the Democrat primary is non-committal. No delegates awarded. Joe Biden's not on the ticket. But you should go vote.
Of course.
Because that's what democracy's all about.
Yes.
Dang it.
Whoa.
Huh?
What?
Huh?
What are you doing, Joe? Why are you here, Joe?
What a stupid son of a bitch.
Well, jeez, man.
Yeah, they you can,
Nazi fags.
Come on, Joe.
well, that's probably how he felt about him because they didn't vote for him last time around, so they decided to not put his name on the ballot. And then they realized, oh, that might be a bad idea because then nobody will vote for Joe Biden in the New Hampshire primary, which is the first for the Democrats, because they decided we don't want Iowa to be first because Iowa also didn't vote for Joe Biden. It's just a hot mess. Coin flipping to come to a polling area near you soon. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Was it that Hillary and Trump? They were flipping coins to decide whether or not it was Hillary or Bernie Sanders that was going to get the...
Pepperidge Farms remembers.
Pepperidge Farms remembers. Yes, I feel better than that. Long story short, I feel better than that.
Yes. Yes. Indeed.
With all the pleasantries out of the way, I think we should redeem ourselves and get back on task with little redemption tactical because, you know, that's what we do. We like to
Redeem ourselves.
redeem ourselves. And where we fall short, they rise to the occasion.
They do.
With all kinds of gear and goodies that you could ever want or hope to want for some decent prices and all that stuff. Link in the description so they know that we know that you know.
What do they know? What do we know?
We know that they know that we know that you know.
Okay, now you've just taken it too far.
I'm not telling the truth. I know that you know.
Is there a pineapple here somewhere?
So I think there was one.
There was one?
It might have rotted.
Ooh. That's never
Probably replace that a little more frequently. Anyways, with all that out of the way, I think it's time for the dose that is of the vitamin B.
welcome to your vitamin B.
I got a little jump laugh from Mike's face on a bee flying. I forgot that I did that. Sorry, Ecom. Go ahead.
He's so funny that he gets himself with his own jokes every week.
Every time.
Every time. Welcome. We have all the news you don't need.
All of it?
All of it. Starting with the primaries. Gracious Trump runs out to welcome prodigal DeSantis back home. Arms wide open.
I told you he'd come around.
I told you he'd be back. Speaking of lost and wayward children, Nikki Haley announces she has won New Hampshire by -12 points.
Commanding second place.
For those of you that are worried, fear not. Trump no longer leading Republican primaries.
Oh.
After mystery candidate Bandit Healer enters race. That's a joke for all the parents out there. You thought we weren't paying attention to you, but we are. Unlike your children.
I see you. I know how you feel. I do.
Oakland In-N-Out relocating to safer location in Gaza.
Cut! Gosh, dang it.
I don't know why that's news, but it is.
Sure has
It
nothing
sure
to
is.
do with the poop you can find everywhere, among other
Nothing
things.
whatsoever. We have a few different articles here for you about Supreme Court rulings.
Oh.
So I'm going to blaze through these really fast.
Okay.
Supreme Court rules it's illegal for National Guard to guard nation. In another landslide vote, Supreme Court rules Texas must replace barbed wire with giant red carpet.
Okay. All right.
When asked about said ruling, Amy Coney Barrett says ruling for open border has nothing to do with landscaping work she needs done this summer. That's it for the Supreme Court. We don't care about that anymore. Moving on, study finds over 3 million millennial women die of dehydration every day because they don't have a Stanley tumbler.
Oh, no.
Speaking of Stanley tumblers, cartels switch from smuggling meth to much more lucrative Stanley tumblers. And this has been your Vitamin B. That was pretty good.
That was
pretty good.
decent.
It was a decent day.
It's very decent.
The news about Amy Coney Barrett is just shocking. Just shocking.
It's nothing to do. Okay. Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna take you on an adventure.
Oh, yay. We
Come
get to go.
with me.
We're going on an adventure.
And you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Or something like that.
Something like that.
Twisting, winding, colorful, spinning light tunnel is being installed as we speak.
That sounds just like an acid trip.
Are you suggesting that Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory was, or Charlie and the Chocolate Factory was a total acid trip? And G. Wilder took advantage of people and they're not letting them see scenes before they happened? Because you'd be right.
Yes. Oh, for the days when Hollywood used to drop acid before writing a script.
Is that why there's nothing new?
Yes. Because nobody does acid anymore.
Might have broke the code.
It's gone out of style.
Broke the code. Figured it out. Give Hollywood acid again.
Hollywood acid again.
Gah!
Oh, gosh.
That's GHAA.
Wow. Wow.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first. 96% of the time it works every time. Wait.
Works for me. So I have, as mentioned next week, we're trying to or last week, not next week.
As mentioned next week.
Acid
If
wore
you
off a
listen
little
to
bit.
next week's episode before this one,
It'll make more sense.
it'll make more sense.
Marty, we have to go back.
What the heck? We're recording episodes before we record episodes. We're putting Tabasco sauce on our ketchup. What the
That's-
heck is going on?
That's how dedicated we are to giving you the content you love. I guess.
If you don't get that joke, go look at my reels. That's not just a plug to get more views on my reels. But it's
seriously.
also just a shameless
seriously.
plug to get more views on my reels.
Go look, seriously.
Go look. Seriously. Seriously, have a look at it.
But, as mentioned last time, we're trying to focus more on the good things and the solutions that promote good things like that. So, in light of that, let's see if Mike can find time as I try to stall poorly to press a button that would accurately describe the beneficial-ish things that I have prepped.
You done messed up, Aaron.
I can work with that.
I can't work with that.
We might need a new soundboard if we're going to keep going this route.
I mean, it was either that one or imagination.
The Supreme Court. Now I'm going to start. It's going to start off rough, but the road smooths out a little bit as we move on.
See? So it fits.
It fits.
It fits.
Fits.
If the shoe fits, the cat sits.
Therefore, I must acquit.
Yes.
The Supreme Court clears the way for the U.S. to remove Texas border barrier.
Say what now?
Yeah, so is it the Fifth Circuit Court, Texas, or the Biden administration took Texas to court, and the Fifth Circuit Court said, yeah, while we wait for an actual court thing to go on, we'll go ahead and put a stay on this so the U.S. government can't keep cutting the Constantine wire that Texas keeps putting on the border. And the Supreme Court came in and said, no, you can keep cutting the wire.
Huh.
That's basically all the Supreme Court ruling did.
So, not to make, yes, definitely to make light of this. On the page, as we're looking at this, mine has a little advertisement in the middle. One-way fares as low as $39
Wait a
if
minute.
you want to get away.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Southwest Airlines.
So this comes as I can't remember if we covered it or not, but a week or two ago, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks. Oh, it was 3 weeks ago ish. In December, when the Fifth Circuit Court said, yeah, stop cutting the wire. That's when the Texas National Guard and Texas Department of Safety came into Eagle Pass area and kicked all of the feds out. Eagle Pass being the hottest of hot spots for migrants crossing, illegal immigrants crossing the border. They came in and kicked them all out and just started spraying wire all over the place. Said no. And even shouting out to immigrants trying to cross the Rio Grande. No, not happening. You're not getting across. And so Biden and them pounded to the Supreme Court, and now here we are, the Supreme Court saying, yeah, they can still cut the Constantine wire because they need access to the area. in order to uphold their duties. That's the issue, is they're not upholding their duties. And, the super conservative Amy Coney Barrett and super conservative John Roberts joined with the super liberals, super progressive justices to say, yeah, we don't need to lock that border down. Yeah. So that's that. That's just short and skinny on that. In response, Thomas Massey pointed out that the Supreme Court is not the supreme law of the land, nor does it have supreme power. The power rests with Congress. He said, you know who could fix this? Literally overrule the Supreme Court and the White House on the Texas v. Biden dispute? Congress. In fact, it was explained to a group of us by Justice Scalia during breakfast at a Capitol Hill club. He told us to quit funding things we don't like.
I mean, that's fair.
Well, there are 3 equal branches of government, Mike. There are 3 equal branches.
Yes. But also no.
But also no. Yes, because the Supreme Court can enforce the law, correct?
Negative.
Oh, they need which branch to enforce the law?
That would be the executive
Oh,
branch.
the executive branch. Okay. The executive branch can create law.
Negative.
Oh, they need
The legislative branch.
the legislative branch to do that. Oh. The legislative branch, though, they can execute the law.
Again, negative.
Oh. They can judge on the law.
Also, again, negative.
Oh. They can handle disputes between states.
I mean, in a way. If you want to get technical.
Okay, so now that we've, on a very basic level, established the rules of the 3 branches, if one of those 3 branches isn't doing their job, which one has more power to make the others do what they're supposed to do?
I mean, it depends on the situation, but generally the legislative branch.
Because they have money. Mm-hmm. That's where the money comes from. If the Supreme Court keeps ruling that slavery is legal, which they have done multiple times until they finally ruled it is not legal, Congress can just not pay the Supreme Court. We pass laws that say you can't do that. Yes, but we ruled that you can. Okay, well, you're not getting a paycheck. So now what? If the executive branch isn't, for example, keeping people from illegally coming into the country, Congress can stop funding the executive branch. So there are 3 equal branches of government, yet one is able to stop the other 2 entirely. Interesting. It's almost as if it's a lie.
Yeah.
The good news.
And the one that the people allegedly have the most control over.
Right, because we elect the Supreme Court justices, correct?
No.
Oh.
Negative.
We elect the President of the United States.
Yes, we do.
And we elect his cabinet.
No, we don't.
Oh. We elect Congress, though.
Yes, every member.
Yeah. And we hold them accountable.
We should. That's a thing we should do. Yes.
In theory.
In theory. But there are an awful lot of people here that don't return the shopping cart.
Yeah. Yeah. There's that.
Is that a stab that I need to explain?
I understand it.
I don't know if all of our listeners do.
For the layperson, I guess.
The ultimate litmus test for whether or not you are capable of self-governance is whether or not you return your shopping cart at the grocery store.
And why is that?
It's because there is absolutely no penalty for not returning your shopping cart. You don't get arrested, you don't get fined, you don't get anything if you just leave your shopping cart in the stall or on the curb or something like that.
But you get rewarded for returning it.
No.
Oh.
You also don't get rewarded for returning it. But everyone knows and can agree that the right thing to do is to return the shopping cart.
It's not like a condition you sign on the register when you...
No. I mean, there's some places where you have to pay a quarter to take out the shopping cart, and you don't get the quarter back unless you return it.
I imagine those places are generally places that are overrun with people that don't follow the law. Because they're stealing the shopping carts.
It's a fair assessment. It's a fair assessment.
Laws are in place not for people that can govern themselves, but for those who decide they don't need to be governed.
Yep.
Yep. Unless, of course, you have evil people in charge, in which case laws are in place to keep good people from being able to govern themselves. Anyways, Texas, in response, looks like they're saying, yeah, that's nice, Supreme Court. We're staying here. Victory in the form of defiance. I like it. Governor Greg Abbott tweeted out, "This is not over. Texas razor wire is an effective deterrent to the illegal crossings Biden encourages. I will continue to defend Texas' constitutional authority to secure the border and prevent the Biden administration from destroying our property."
I love how his picture on that is a bunch of people
Walking
going
through
the
with
razor wire that's effective.
with Border Patrol standing.
Oh, is
right
that
there.
Border Patrol on the other side? I can't tell who that is on the other side. I was like, you just posted a picture of your razor wire not being effective.
Yeah, freshly cut. By the Border
Oh,
Patrol.
freshly cut. Okay, that makes much more sense. I was a little worried that he was going senile or something.
Texas DPS Representative Lieutenant Chris Olivares said the state of Texas, under Governor Abbott, Operation Lone Star, will maintain its current posture in deterring illegal border crossings by utilizing effective border security measures, reinforced concertina wire, and anti-climb barriers along the Rio Grande. The logical concern should be why the federal government continues to hinder Texas' ability to protect its border, all while allowing for the exploitation, dangerous, and inhuman methods of permitting illegal immigrants, including children, to illegally cross a dangerous river where many have lost their lives. Texas is the only state using every strategy and resource to protect its sovereignty, combat criminal activity, and discourage illegal immigration. Texas will continue to hold the line.
They're also the one with the largest stretch of border.
And was it Jack Posobiec pointed out, like I mentioned, the Supreme Court ruling today was specifically about the court order on cutting razor wire. The Fifth Circuit Court still needs to hear the actual case on its merits. There is still a chance Texas wins. Greg Abbott said this is correct. Basically saying, yeah, we're still we're still there. And I'm very interested to see how this turns out with the feds coming in and trying to cut wire as Texas is putting more wire up. Because the Supreme Court didn't say you can't place more wire.
Oh, that's fair.
And they also didn't say you have to leave the border for the Border Patrol. They just said the Border Patrol can cut the wire. So, be a fun little battle to watch. And eventually, I'm sure tempers are going to rise.
Did they specify that the people can't shoot the Border Patrol with paintball guns?
No, that was not specified.
I think I found a solution.
Or you can get those pepper pellets.
Pepper pellets. It's terrible. I don't suggest that.
I wonder, actually.
Oh, no.
I wonder.
What did my inane joke trigger in our wonderful friend?
I wonder.
Who wrote the Book of Love? There's an old reference for you.
That's a lot of legal reading that I don't have time to do to get a quick answer for. I was just looking up to see if states can charge people for treason against the United States. Because they can charge for other felonies, federal crimes. Can you charge for treason? So if, for example, you're sitting there and you watch Border Patrol just openly welcome tons of people in and then let them go.
They can on tribal land. Treason is a criminal matter under both federal and state laws.
Excellent.
It is the only crime specifically defined in the Constitution.
Wouldn't that be interesting? Have Governor Abbott, or any governor for that matter, mentioning that any act like this would be you would be arrested for treason and then held on trial for it.
Yes. Treason.
If you were a Border Patrol agent, how willing would you be to go and cut that razor wire with the threat of treason being literally hung over your head?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you don't have to give the maximum punishment for treason, but the minimum punishment is 5 years and a fine of at least $10,000.
So there's a window there, you're saying.
like on my current budget, I'd rather have the death penalty.
Can you make it look like an accident?
Can you make it look like an accident? No, but they can do suicide. They've pulled that one off before. Epstein.
I don't know how he did it.
This is...
So those sheets, man, that are specifically designed to not do that?
He obviously put the shotgun in his own mouth.
Shot himself in the
and
back
shot
of the
himself in the back of the head.
head. Just for good measure.
From 20 yards away. Wait.
We still need to do that.
I know. Right? He threw the shotgun. That's what it was. He threw the shotgun.
Well, the force from the blast.
The force from the blast.
Which is it?
Oh,
We
gosh.
figure he committed suicide. How? We're not sure. Is it the shotgun? Well, we didn't find a shotgun. Oh, wait. Yeah, we found the shotgun. It was 20 feet away.
That's what it was, 20 feet away.
How
20 yards. That's...
How did it... Well, he was standing on a bench. How do you know he was standing on the bench? Yeah, he tried to hang himself and it didn't work. I mean,
Tried to hang himself on a bench? Oh, no, it was a bench next to a tree.
It was on a hill, so, you know, it could fly 20 feet.
On a hill.
Would you like me to take the shovel now, or are you not finished?
I had questions. Now I have concerns.
You had my curiosity. Now you have my attention.
Yes. Wow. Just wow. But it's okay because one-way airfare out of the country is as low as $35
So long as the plane
with
stays
Southwest.
so long as the plane stays intact when you fly away.
You never know with those Boeings. I've heard that they're adding new panoramic views.
You said you don't like looking out of that tiny window anymore, so
New air conditioning systems too.
I saw a story of a flight that was canceled because they were about to taxi out to the runway. Guy looks out his window and he's like, I think there's some screws missing on the wing. And he points it out to the flight crew and it should be okay. I'm I'm about to fly thousands of feet in the air. I'm not comforted with should be okay.
Right?
Giving the track record of, I don't know, the plane that burst into flames just flying through the air, the plane that had the door fly off the side of it, the plane that had landing gear fall off of it. Should not be your response.
It'll be fine.
The guy's girlfriend started freaking out, and so they took the plane back, canceled the flight because they had to put screws into the wing so it wouldn't fall off.
Who are you who are so wise in the ways of science?
I'm Arthur.
What are you, some kind of expert?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. So yeah, go ahead. Fly out of the country for $35. I'm sure it's worth it. You want to get away today? We have a flight where all your worries can disappear. For good measure, we'll fly towards the Bermuda Triangle.
I was about to say one-way ticket to the Bahamas via the Bermuda Triangle.
What could possibly go
What
wrong?
could possibly go wrong?
Oh, and the sharks are in heat below us, too, so it should be fine. Everything should be fine. The last one I have for the Supreme Court. Anyways, Supreme Court related. A case has been brought and is being heard that may gut federal bureaucracy power.
That's a fun word.
Yeah, bureaucratic.
I challenge all of you listening to spell bureaucracy right now without looking it up. Mm-hmm. If you didn't hate the English language before, you should.
Answer in the comments below how many times you had to type it out before it auto-corrected to what you were trying to spell. The record's 5.
Bear-a-cat. Bear.
I know there's a U in here somewhere.
I know there's a U in here somewhere.
Oh, it's right after the B. Oh.
Oh, okay. Hey, no tips, no
your
hints.
Hint. That's your one and only hint. Good luck with the rest. Yeah, the Supreme Court wrestled Wednesday with the implications of overturning a nearly 40-year-old precedent that could weaken the way the federal government regulates, well, everything. Oh, no.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for them.
Yeah. A system in place for decades has governed how judges review curbs on air and water pollution, gun safety measures, and workplace protections. But conservative legal foundations and business groups have urged the court to scrap that system, arguing it hands too much power to federal agencies at the expense of Congress and the judiciary. Correct. Several of the court's conservative justices expressed deep skepticism of the current framework, but all 3 left-leaning justices offered support for keeping the system in place. No. And Justice Amy Coney Barrett, a Trump appointee, raised concerns about inviting a flood of litigation if they reversed course. So,
Here's the problem. So,
and
if the ruling is wrong, it doesn't matter how much you have to fix after fixing it.
because you're trying to
fix something that's wrong.
Hey, if we fix the leak on this water heater, we're going to have all kinds of other problems. Why is the water heater leaking? What?
In order to fix this leak on the water heater, we're going to have to redo like all of the plumbing here.
Why?
Why is all of the plumbing bad?
Well, because the water heater went bad. Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
That is the dumbest response, Amy. It's justice. No, it's Amy. If that's your line of thinking, you don't deserve to be a justice.
Yeah, seriously.
If we reverse this, it's going to make us have to do other things.
That's your job.
Yeah.
It's literally your job.
Because if we do this, then, it could make it so the EPA doesn't exist anymore, and so we got to face all of that stuff. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Don't threaten me with a good time. It could even, things like the ATF, a lot of their rules could just disappear because of it.
Oh, yeah. It's all coming together.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. By the end of the arguments, which extended more than 3 hours, it wasn't clear there were 5 votes to overturn the precedent or whether a majority of the court might find a way to impose new limits on it. How about just say, no? Justice Kagan, through tough hypothetical questions. Freaking English. Because tough, buff, and rough rhyme. And through, though, and other words like that don't rhyme. But for some godforsaken reason, baloney and pony rhyme. Because English. Justice Lena Kagan threw...
Orange and storage almost rhyme.
Almost. Justice Lena Kagan threw tough hypothetical questions at the challenger's attorneys, asking if federal judges are really the best position to answer questions about whether a new cholesterol-lowering product would be a dietary supplement or a drug. No! So if we overturn this, you think it's best to bring that to a judge on what's better? No. Why?
No. Why would you do that?
Why would we? Oh my goodness! And it's best to defer to
Can
people.
you say straw man? I can say straw man. That sounds like a straw man if there ever was one.
She said, and it's best to defer to people who do know, who have had long experience on the ground, who have seen 1,000 of these kinds of situations.
No, it's really not.
And judges should know what they don't know. Yeah, like the Constitution, apparently.
Apparently.
If I was that attorney, it would be very hard to not respond with that. Your Honor. The case. Here's the fun part. So this whole case was brought up because a group of herring fishermen based in Rhode Island and Cape May in New Jersey they were having problems with people inspecting the boats or something like that. My boys are working on the boats, and my daughters, we have a shoreside business, and they run that. So the whole family is in the seafood business 100%. Bright said he welcomes regulations to keep the herring population strong in northeastern United States, but he said the fisheries service went too far when the government mandated that vessel owners like him had to pay for observers on the boats to make sure they're following the rules.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Well, Congress
That's stupid as hell.
Congress had a heated debate over this and passed a law that said, oh, wait, no, they didn't have anything like that. It's just the fisheries service decided that that's the rule now.
Yeah. And this is
so
the problem with unelected federal agencies.
And so now they're demanding that small businesses like these guys.
This bullshit needs to stop.
Yeah.
And the judges shouldn't have anything to do with determining stuff like that after the fact. The judiciary does not write law.
No.
Period.
Well, how do we change this? No. You don't change the law.
No.
You say, yeah, no, this is wrong.
Yeah.
And
the only thing the judiciary is there for is yes or no answers.
Uh-huh.
It is, yes, this is constitutional. No, this is not constitutional.
And then it's Congress's job to turn around and fix it the way that they actually meant it to be.
Yes.
Case in point, Obamacare. The reason why we have, everyone has a right to health insurance, which is why you're forced to pay it or you pay a tax.
Yeah.
But the reason why we have that is because, well, it originated in the Senate, and then it went to the House, and it passed both of them. And then it got taken to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said, this looks like it's a tax because it says tax if you don't have it. Oh, well, yeah. Okay, and it originated in the Senate? Yeah. Okay, so we'll change it from tax to fine, and then it's okay. That's what the Supreme Court did.
Yeah. And that should have been a no, not a change it to whatever.
Oh, what you meant was it's a fine, not a tax. Oh, yeah. Because they're different. Yeah. So, if this goes the way of the fishermen, the case has implications far beyond the fishing industry and has attracted support from conservative legal foundations, the Gun Owners of America, and a trade group for electronic cigarette makers, among others. Okay. If it passes, they can all bring their stuff to the Supreme Court of, so the ATF said that you can't have this gun because of barrel length this and barrel length that, where Congress has no such law in place.
Yep. And every single one of those should instantly be
gone.
Mm-hmm. Because federal agencies do not have the authority to write law, period. Every single one of those laws should be scrapped until they can get past Congress. This is the problem here isn't that they're going to get these things back to the Supreme Court, is that the Supreme Court doesn't understand what their job is.
Yes. Well, we're not firearm experts, so how are we supposed to? It's just
You're
say
not.
It goes
You're
away.
not. You're not supposed to. You're supposed to understand the Constitution. And you're supposed to say, yes, this is constitutional, or no, this is not constitutional. And every single one of those laws that crosses your desk should be an instant no. You shouldn't have to debate it. You shouldn't have to worry about anything on it. It's an instant no because it's not constitutional, because not a single one of those laws was put in place through Congress, which is the only branch of government that has the authority to make a new law. The only branch. They're the only one.
You have the executive branch that's operating as if it's an autocratic dictator. Mm-hmm. You have the Supreme Court that's operating as if we're an oligarchy.
Yeah, speaking of which, in the meantime, let's just redact all of the freaking emergency orders and presidential orders and bullshit that's been going on for the last forever.
Since forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, because those are supposed to be for actual emergencies, executive orders, because Congress is designed to operate slowly, and Congress is supposed to respond to an executive order and make a law that says yay or nay to said executive order.
Mm-hmm. Instead, they just let them stand for decades.
Oh, yeah, we'll just let that stand.
Yeah.
Why not get rid of it?
There needs
the
to be
implications of getting rid of it, we'd have to face all kinds of litigation. And
that's a problem that you created for yourselves.
Mm-hmm. For example, right now, Congress is debating back and forth on what kind of border security things should we put in place. How about the ones you've already got in the books that nobody's following?
Not a single one of them.
Congress isn't following the law of appropriating money for it or disappropriating money for it. And the executive branch isn't executing the law. And then apparently the Supreme Court's sitting here. Border being open is, that should be okay. Even though the Constitution says it's the duty of the federal government to protect.
They've stopped looking at it as, is it constitutional or not? And they are simply going with, do I agree with it or not?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not okay on either side.
Yep.
The Constitution is the supreme law of the land. The Supreme Court is to rule on the supreme law. It's that simple. It's that easy. It's all it's ever been.
It's all it should be.
It's all it should be.
A republic, if you can keep it. So that's what a republic's supposed to look like.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. If this works, the Chevron decision from 40 years ago, gone.
So this is how liberty dies. With thunderous applause.
I can see it now. Like this comes out, and all of a sudden the EPA doesn't have any authority to force businesses to be open or closed based on their greenhouse footprint or something like that.
It's almost like it would completely derail the ESG and all that other crap going on.
And you'd have all the blue-haired, skittle-haired people freaking out. This is lawlessness.
No, this is the law.
Correction. It was lawlessness.
Yes. This is what it looks like to have law and order.
Well, now
What we currently have is a lack of law and order.
now factories and industries are going to be able to just pollute the air wherever they want. Yeah, and the communities will kick them out if it's actually too dangerous to breathe, because that's what happens. There's a reason why McDonald's doesn't just plot a McDonald's in the middle of a neighborhood, because the people won't like a McDonald's plopped in the middle of a neighborhood. So yeah, it's as much as we're venting.
These corporations, they're just so greedy. Yeah, that's part of the solution to the problem, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. Along with that, the IRS and taxes would suddenly change because,
Oh,
believe it or not, Congress doesn't actually pass every single tax regulation
really?
that comes into place.
Really?
Even though that's
yeah.
the exact job of
Congress
is to specify taxes and collect them.
So what you're telling me is that pretty much for more than my entire lifetime, nothing has actually been done the way it's supposed to be done.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Correct as usual, King Friday.
Gotcha. And people still wonder why I call it a uniparty.
Hey, wait a minute. This coin is the same.
I'm gonna throw this out there for you right now. Republicans have been in power for pretty close to half of my life. So half of my life and the other half of my life Democrat, and it all resulted in this.
Yeah.
It's almost as if both of them want to screw you.
I think they're trying to screw me.
They might be trying to screw me.
They might be trying to screw me.
Well, of course they're trying to screw you.
Yeah. Donald Trump had a Republican Congress for 0 years of his time in office, right?
0? Was it 0?
Oh, no, it was 2.
Oh, well, only 2.
Only half
2.
of his presidency.
Only half of his presidency.
And it was the first half, and overturning Obamacare and things like that. That came up during the second. Oh no, the first half.
That's why it got passed.
Huh.
Oh wait.
Oh, and the border was just locked down because Republicans rallied in the first half of his presidency, and
Oh wait.
Oh, but the Republicans had a landslide victory in the midterms because everything they did to help secure everything Americans were concerned about. Oh, no, the Democrats had a landslide victory, turning power over to Nancy Pelosi and Chucky.
Good old Chucky Schumer.
Chuckles.
It's okay.
As much as we're venting, this is actually a good news thing. If this goes the right way, this is great.
And this is dredging up hard feelings simply because
we shouldn't be
here. But this is great news. If this happens, it'll fix so many things that are wrong.
Yeah, it shouldn't be.
And it'll force our Congress to do their effing jobs, which will be great.
You mean we have to pass laws on whether or not EPA standards have to be held?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, you do. And you should be very, very careful with how you vote on that.
Exactly. We have to be accountable? Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's part of the problem with all these agencies is they're not accountable to the people at all. In any way, shape, or form.
Especially because, as mentioned before, Congress keeps funding them. And then they turn around and complain on the campaign trail. EPA's out of control. IRS out of control. ATF out of control. Okay, yeah. Well, you're going to do something about it. Oh, yeah, we're going to shut them down. Okay, we'll vote for you. I keep voting for the continuing resolutions instead of voting for a budget.
Why?
Why? Well, we got to keep the government open.
But why?
Why?
We obviously don't have to keep the government open because you're wasting our money.
Uh-huh.
And you're not doing the things that you promised us.
Who was it? I think it was Chip Roy was on the House floor. And he said, those of you that believe in modern monetary theory, why don't you start advocating for no taxes? Because what's the point? If we're just going to print money.
Right?
I was like, I mean, that's a spade if I ever saw one.
Right. Yeah. That's good stuff.
Yeah, frustrated because we shouldn't be here, and frustrated because we have justices that don't want to overturn it because it might invite a flood of litigation. This will make more work for me. Then why'd you take the job?
Makes no sense.
Standard complaint with teachers and the like. If you have a job where you create your own work, don't complain about the work. That's your job.
We don't create the work. It's just expected of us.
No. We expect you to teach the kids to understand basic things.
Well, yes, but all the grading and everything has to be done after hours.
You technically don't have to have a grade. That's I wouldn't be surprised if the state laws vary state by state, I'm sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's states that have zero grading laws in place for passing high school and stuff like that. I bet. That's a hunch I might follow later.
Do it.
Do it. So now, we'll take a little break because it's time, for the first time in a while.
Oh, no.
You're not emotional damage.
It is time for a hot mic.
You know what I hate about being right? Is when I'm right 6 months before other people will admit that I'm right. All right, I'm done.
Yes, it is that time. Now, as I mentioned beforehand, I gave Mike a warning. This is supposed to be a mostly positive coverage of things because that's the direction we're trying to go. So there's a chance that this is a mostly positive thing for Mike to respond to.
Good.
You ready?
I'm so ready.
There's a chance.
There's a chance. So you're saying there's a chance.
We are in this crisis. Democratic Socialists of America facing internal bloodbath.
Wait, what? Wait. I did not see this link. Did you not include this link?
I did not include the link.
You sneaky bugger.
You sly dog.
You sly dog.
Oh no. Anyway.
Democratic Socialists of America are facing an internal bloodbath as they beg staff members to volunteer to lose their jobs amid a funding crisis.
Is this being streamed on pay-per-view?
The organization said Bread and Roses members on the National Political Committee, which functions as the board for Democratic Socialists of America, DSA, asked for volunteers among staff and directors to step down and take a severance payment. The organization says it's a necessary but hopeful temporary measure to keep the DSA afloat.
It's almost like they're bad with money.
The DSA said they, quote, should be thriving, end quote. But they instead are seeing a, quote, decline in revenue, membership, and overall excitement, end quote.
That's too damn bad!
We're living in a moment when revived labor struggles and the fight for a free Palestine are galvanizing so many Americans, the organization said, adding it's treading water and things will continue to be tough.
It's treading water. How do we stop that?
How long can you tread water? Ha, 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 ha.
Anybody got some cinder blocks?
The DSA accused top directors of mismanaging our dues by withholding essential information from elected leaders for years and imposed their own political objectives that would keep DSA in the model of a progressive nonprofit rather than a mass party that is capable of getting us closer to a rupture with capitalism.
Essential information like this shit doesn't work.
No one would be considering layoffs if the deficit weren't so extreme. But now that we are in this crisis, we can't fix it by we can't fix it by hollowing out the organization.
That made me happy.
The DSA says the situation is too big to fundraise our way out of, due to a lack of volunteers to recruit new members who pay dues and other donors. The DSA said they are hopeful the organization will be able to thrive again, but that in the interim, there must be cost-saving measures put in place to keep the organization afloat.
No comment. Just
The
I'll
jokes
just
write themselves.
leave that rope there. Wow.
Yeah, the implication behind it, on at least with this story, and confirmed in other stories, some of their biggest donors were Jewish, and DSA supports the whole Free Palestine thing, especially after the October 7th thing in Jerusalem. Yeah, they're shocked that the money just poof.
No, she was just...
But Mike, real socialism has never been tried.
Unbelievable.
Oh gosh. Wow. Oh. That was good news.
My favorite part in all of this, see if I can translate it after reading it, is they accuse top directors of mismanaging our dues by withholding essential information from elected leaders for years and imposing their own political objectives that would keep DSA in the model of a progressive nonprofit rather than a mass party that's capable of getting us closer to a rupture with capitalism. So our top directors were practicing what we preach, and it made us run out of money. Breaking news.
Well, this is not a mundane detail, Michael.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Wow.
And I might have one more.
I heard a thing today that I thought was rather awesome. It was karma is an echo that's saying your name.
Saying your name. Say my name. I have one more for your hot micness.
Oh, good.
Jerry Nadler. Now we're told that,
Oh, yay, Mr. Nadler.
a preface for this. Typically, Republicans are labeled as racist because of how they think of people crossing the southern border, correct?
Of course, yes.
Okay, just keep that in mind as you watch Jerry Nadler.
As you listen to Mr. Nadler here. Let's hear it.
Let's hear it.
And we need immigrants in this country. Forget the fact that the farm, that our vegetables would rot in the ground if they weren't being picked by many immigrants, many illegal immigrants. The fact is that the birth rate in this country is way below replacement level, which means our population is going to start shrinking. And the ratio of people on Social Security and Medicare is going to increase relative to the number of people supporting them. And we need immigrants.
So there you go.
Did the guy behind him cover his mouth to...
Is he saying what I think he's saying?
Was he covering a laugh, or did he just say that on public television?
Yeah.
You can't handle the truth.
Yeah. Remember, Republicans are racist because they want to stop people from coming into the country. And they don't want our population to be replaced by not our population. Jerry Nadler is not a racist because he wants people from other countries
To come and work in our farm fields?
pick the food out of our farms and to replace our population.
Oh my gosh. Does he think we still live in like plantation times?
He's a
Like,
Democrat, so
He does realize that most farms are like tractors and automation now, right?
Wait. You mean to tell me, tying the two together, you mean to tell me that capitalism has found a way to do it faster than human labor?
Yes.
To the point where human labor is actually more expensive than machine labor?
Yes.
Even if it's under the table?
Yes.
Ha.
In a lot of instances, yes.
When your head is so deep in socialism's rear end. Anyway, that has been Hot Mic.
You know what I hate about being right? Is when I'm right 6 months before other people will admit that I'm right. All right, I'm done. Still the worst stinger you've ever made.
You're welcome. He says as he put the clapper underneath my name.
That's funny.
That's funny. It's at your expense, not mine.
Right.
Therefore,
exactly.
it's funny.
Therefore, it's funny. That's how socialism works.
It's
rules for thee, but not for me. That's
2 laughs good, 4 laughs bad.
that's right. That's right.
I see. Some jokes are more jokey than others. Back to the goodish news.
Yay.
I say
Good-ish because nothing's going to top the DSA going under.
Well, yes, but that was kind of a side rail, if you will. But back to the main track of goodish news, and I say ish because, well, with the Supreme Court thing, we made it sound like it was horrible.
That was not horrible.
And
It was
that was
awesome.
probably the best thing on here.
It was awesome. You know what? It's fine. We can be forgiven.
Do you hear that? That's the sound of forgiveness.
That's the sound of people drowning, Carl.
That is what forgiveness sounds like. Screaming and then silence.
Here in our home state, Utah,
Woohoo!
the Utah House passed a bill replacing DEI with student success instead. So instead of state college,
DEI. You didn't enunciate the E. And I was like, they're replacing Deseret Industries?
sorry, DIE, die,
D-E.
replacing die.
Yes, they're replacing die.
So yeah, public education, higher education, and the government, the state government, can no longer discriminate based off of DEI metrics. They can only discriminate based off of success.
Oh, good.
So it's a more merit-based.
I was going to say, so they're switching to a meritocracy type program.
Uh-huh.
Beautiful. That's great.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
DEI would be replaced with student success and support programs. Related to this, there's a headline also, University of Utah to eliminate diversity questions or statements from hiring process.
Good. Very good.
They still have the cry closet, though, last I checked.
No, that's fine. They can keep the cry closet. They can take it with them when they leave.
Take it with them when they leave. What's her name? Katie Hall from Davis County brought this bill in. I wouldn't bring forth this bill if I didn't think this was a step in the right direction. It's the HB 261 Equal Opportunities Initiative. Democrats, however, said the measure tells some people they don't matter and that racism still exists.
Because you have to earn it?
Well, because who's going to pick the cabbage in our fields and stuff, our vegetables?
That's racist.
By passing this bill, we're telling people, and I have heard this from my constituents, and I know Rep. Hall has, that we don't matter, said Rep. Angela Romero of Salt Lake City. They made efforts to change the bill exempting public education, but the move failed. Darn it. The measure now goes to Senate committee for another hearing, blah, blah, blah. Which should have been done yesterday. So there's probably an update to that somewhere. But yeah, so Utah is taking that move. And Utah is also taking a move to force people to go to the right bathroom.
Oh, good.
Mm-hmm. Now, this is just for state buildings, government buildings. But if you want to use the bathroom in a government building, you have to make sure you actually are the sex of that person going into that bathroom. And if you consider yourself to be transgender and must go into the opposing bathroom, you have to have had the surgery to completely change everything to go into that bathroom and have your state stuff legally changed. Couple that with the other laws that Utah has passed, it is extremely hard to actually do that in Utah. So the bill on its surface, on its own, doesn't look all that strong in its language, because it's just saying, you know, if you got man parts, then you go in the male restroom. If you got female parts, you go in the female restroom. If you identify as one or the other, well, you have to make sure you have the right plumbing to go into that bathroom. And then, like I said, you tie that to the other laws, and it's actually kind of hard to just higgledy-piggledy pick a bathroom in a government building in Utah now. Well, I guess it's got to still go through the processes, but that's what's passed on the House. Yep. Florida. Final story. Florida continuing to lead the way with over 100 banks signing an anti-ESG agreement to not discriminate people because of their political alignment. Because, if they don't, a law that was passed in Florida says you no longer get any Florida help in your finances and stuff. So we're not going to invest in you. We're not going to bank with you. So you're left to whatever the people say and do. And seeing as how if you discriminate against them, they're probably not going to bank with you. And most of Florida agrees with that because it passed overwhelmingly in the House and those politicians were reelected. The gentle coercion of you will have no business here if you don't sign this.
I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, so no more ESG banking in Florida, basically. And the Florida banks are agreeing. Like, okay.
Good.
My gives up. My gives up. Good news, people. It's all good news. It's good.
It's all coming up aces. They haven't finished the vote on that in the Senate, by the way. It was moved to second reading at 11:19 this morning, and that was the last update.
So they're still talking about it.
Yeah. So, and the House did 3 readings on it. Before it passed, but it only took the House like 3 days to figure it out. And the Senate's been at it for, since the 19th. It was introduced on the Senate floor on the 19th.
So recently, very recently.
Friday.
Yeah.
So you missed 2 days because the weekend they don't do anything.
Right.
So today was day 3 for the Senate. So they will probably reach a decision tomorrow on that. So that's great.
I have a bonus story if you want it, or we can save it.
I'm all about bonuses.
You're all about bonuses?
All about bonuses.
It's from Utah as well.
Oh, sweet.
Parents react after Utah lawmaker proposes a bill to display 10 Commandments in schools.
Oh, no. Anyway.
What?
Yeah.
They react well, I assume?
Well. HB 269, sponsored by State Rep Mike Peterson, the bill would mandate that schools hang a copy of the 10 Commandments. Salt Lake City resident Suzanne Morelius said, "My first thoughts are there are so many bigger problems in the state of Utah than trying to institute this kind of moral prescription on."
No, there's not.
Name one. And I will tell you why you need a moral prescription for it.
Yes.
There's so much homelessness. The 10 Commandments is a good start.
Yes.
The government's out of control. The
10 Commandments are a good start. Thou shalt not lie comes to mind.
No, thou shalt not bear false witness.
Same difference.
And it's not.
Is it not?
It's not. If, extreme example, you're in Nazi Germany and the Nazis come banging on the door asking where the Jews are that you're hiding in the closet, and you tell them there are no Jews here, you have told a lie.
You've also borne false witness.
But you have not borne false witness.
How have you not borne false witness?
Because much like hold on. Much like how the Bill of Rights, there's an order to them, the 10 Commandments has the same order. God's first. Honor your mom and dad. You go down the list of 10 Commandments. There's a hierarchy of things. So it's not an absolute thing of like the thou shalt not kill, it's actually thou shalt not murder.
Which is different.
Which is different. Bearing false witness in order to preserve life, which God has commanded, choose life, and to multiply and replenish the earth.
So, the easy explanation. Lying is intentionally making a false statement. Bearing false witness is specifically presenting false testimony or evidence in an attempt to actually get someone else in trouble.
Yes.
To accuse someone else or to punish someone else.
Uh-huh.
So it being bear false witness is actually very, very important because that states that it is lying with an intent to do harm.
Don't throw people under the bus.
Yeah. Basically.
Yeah. Anyway. Not to say anything is bad about the Ten Commandments, it's fine, but it's not something that needs to be legislated. It's a personal choice, Morelia said. How much you want to bet there's a Satanist club at one of the Salt Lake City public schools?
I wouldn't bet against you.
2 News reached out to Utah.
Well, I would, because I would bet that there's more than one.
Ha! You're wrong. There's more than one. 2 News reached out to Utah Rep Mike Peterson to ask why he believes the Ten Commandments should be required in schools, how this is not a violation of the separation of church and state, because that doesn't exist.
Because that doesn't exist, for one. And for two, have you looked around lately?
How this bill will be received by other lawmakers and how its legislation will benefit students. In an email response, Peterson wrote that he is sponsoring the legislation to restore what Utahns and all Americans lost in 1971 when the Supreme Court created the Lemon Test. We're back to where we started with the Supreme Court. Funny how this all happens. It's kind of interesting, though. If you go back through history, aside from... First thing that comes to mind is the Great Society. Aside from that... every single progressive policy has been done through the Supreme Court or through bureaucracy.
Yeah.
The Lemon Test is a tool the courts have been using since 1971 to determine whether or not an action violates the Constitution. In 2022, the Lemon Test was thrown out by the Supreme Court. He said now that it is legally feasible, lawmakers now can once again display this document so students can know the significant role it played in the creation of American heritage and law. Correct. The state has a real problem with separating church affairs and public affairs, Morelia said. No. Peterson writes that this legislation will restore the historical tradition of recognizing Americans' heritage, and it will help eliminate out-of-date legal thinking of those still operating in this 1970s Establishment Clause jurisprudence. We've had a lot of people coming in, different faiths and religions. We just need to embrace that and appreciate that not just force one ideology on the public, she said. Not Peterson. Morelius. Two News reached out to other parents to get more opinions, but they weren't comfortable commenting on the bill. That's such a misleading headline. Parents react. We have one parent.
Parent reacts.
Parent reacts from the heart of Salt Lake City. That is extremely liberal.
The one person we could find that was pissed about this. Let me guess. Salt Lake Tribune.
Oh, no. KUTV.
Close enough.
Same.
Same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I guess we'll go to the comments here. There's 2 comments. Rob T13. Let's just make a wall of religious ideologies then. If the 10 Commandments goes up, that opens the door for any religion to post their beliefs as well. No. Because the 10 Commandments belong to which religion? Exactly.
Technically, like half of them.
So most, probably. Get the 7 tenets of the Satanic Temple up there as well. No. No, that's not how that works. Because, as we talked a couple weeks ago, it's just not how this works. It seems there is some idea that the Founding Fathers were all part of one religion. No. Most were Protestant Christians, but within that group included a larger number of deists and Unitarians, and Thomas Jefferson was an atheist. No, he was not. Work on things that aren't just going to end up costing taxpayers money fighting in court yet again, just so you can try to look good for your constituents. Another comment, I think it's a waste of time. Putting the 10 Commandments on the wall isn't going to do anything but make more lawsuits. Schools are already teaching the basics in human decency. Which is why California is overrun with poop on the streets. Which is why TikTok trends of knocking people out just because it's funny is popular. Or TikTok trends of doing other horrendous things to people because, gotta get them clicks. Human decency is being taught in schools.
Where do people get the idea that Thomas Jefferson was an atheist?
Well, he took a Bible and he cut out the words that Christ said.
And?
On 2 Bibles.
And?
That means
what did he do with it?
That means that he's atheist. He cut out the things that Christ said.
What did he do with it?
He cut them out.
But what did he do with the cutouts?
He cut them out of the Bible.
Okay.
What do you think he did with them?
I don't know. That's why I was asking.
The reason why he did it to 2 Bibles is because, front and back. And he took the things he cut out and put them in his own pieced together Bible thing.
So it was just the words of Christ.
So it's just the words of Christ. Well, yeah, he was picking and choosing it's just the words of Christ, which would imply that he's Christian because he wanted to focus on.
He was a devout Christian.
He wanted to focus on the words of Christ in part of his Bible studies. And in case you're wondering, he got a Quran and read through the whole thing and immediately turned around to the people and said, everyone needs to read this so you know why it's a horrible ideology. If you really want to bring Jefferson into this argument.
That sounds about right.
The same Jefferson who sent the Navy and the Marines to destroy Islamic extremists.
Yeah. So, question though, of all of the founding fathers and how, devout Christians they were, where did John Adams fall?
Oh, he was probably in that deist group.
Oh, okay. So the letter that Jefferson wrote in 1823 to John Adams, where he said, "The God whom you and I acknowledge and adore," that was that was him being atheist?
Yeah, that was Jefferson being atheist, trying to recognize the deism of Adams.
The God who gave us life, liberty,
and Jefferson's original words, property.
Yeah. Our creator, benevolent governor, I believe, is another thing that he used to describe him. Yeah.
Just because Jefferson said, "I am a Christian in every sense of the word," doesn't mean that he was a Christian. Oh, public education did you well, Rob T13. Did you so well. Good. Watch, he's one of the 9 people that listen to us for some reason.
That would be really funny, actually.
I'm Rob T13. Sorry.
Just wait. If you haven't been offended yet, you will be later.
Don't worry, we'll get to you.
We'll get to you.
Okay, that's it. I'm out of bonus things.
Oh, good.
Out of bonus things.
Out of bonus things. Well,
well,
after that pause, we got to redeem ourselves.
we do. How would one go through such redemption?
Tactically.
Tactically? Must be very tactile in our redemption.
Wait, no. Tactical. Tactile is a very different word.
Is it, though?
It is. It is very different. Anyway, check out Redemption Tactical. Tactical, not tactile. You know, their stuff is tangible. You can go touch it.
See?
But, you know, what we're looking for is the tactical. Now you got me screwing it up. Wow. This was supposed to be redemption. This was supposed to be redeeming. What did you do? What did you do? Why would you do that?
I was just being me.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
Yeah, so check out Redemption Tactical. We got the link in the description below. And let them know we sent you. Drop them a review that says hi.
Just that.
Just hi. Hi. That's how they'll know we sent you.
That's how they'll know. Getting all these reviews that say hi.
just reviews that say hi.
Hi.
I really want you guys to do that now. That's the task. Go buy something from Redemption Tactical, and then go and leave a review.
Hi.
4 or 5 stars. 5 stars preferable.
Uh-huh.
Just says hi.
Hi.
Just says hi. That's it.
What are they going to do?
Them.
Reject the review?
I want to flood them with 5-star reviews that say hi.
Hi. Mischief managed. And with all of that,
like, subscribe, leave us a hi.
Leave us a hi. Share all those things. And of course, Galatians 4:16.
Bye. You still don't have the outro video clip.
No.
It's red.
It's red.
The light is red.
So red.
So red.
Red.
Your light is also red, I see.
This time,
it's about time.
A clap, so I can actually sync it more easily.
He's got the clap and he's giving it to you.
Yeah, there was no clap last time. That was fun trying to find a
spot
spot
really?
where I could sync it. There's got to be
I wonder who missed the clap.
The clap giver.
The clap giver. The spreader of the clap failed his job. He had one job. He failed.
If we were far more popular, that would be a fabulous shirt to have. Just a pair of hands, the clap giver. The clap giveth and the clap taketh away. With our logo on it, of course.
Just a picture of your face, the clapper.
Not to be confused with clap on, clap off.
Not to be confused with clap on, clap off.
Yes.
Wow.
They were Alexa before it was cool.
That went sideways real fast.
You'd wear the shirt, though, wouldn't you?
I totally would.
See?
I would everywhere, all the time. In fact.
Clap, give it.
A
the
shirt,
clap, take
a
it
shirt
away.
with your picture on it that says the clapper. Yes, I would wear that. Every episode and every time we go out in public. And I would invite you to more things too.
But what's your shirt? This guy.
This guy. I'm with the clapper. Why is he called the clapper? Because he gives the clap.
I'm a man with many hats.
And yes.
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 The clapper is one of those hats.
The clapper is one of those hats. So that I'm changing I'm changing the headline under your name to the clapper. Does it let me screw with your settings? It doesn't let me screw with your settings. Yes, it does.
Yes, I does. Yes, I does.
The clapper. Oh, that's a thing now.
Well, I'm glad you're happy.
Yes. Infinitely happy.
Infinitely happy. Well then.
Well,
now that we've got that all sorted and taken
Yes.
care of.
Yes, indeed. It's time to get started, I think.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.